Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from The Federalist dated September 24th. It says, Trump is right. The United Nations doesn't help countries, it destroys them. And I'm pretty sure I've made reference a few times on some previous videos that I loathe the United Nations with the passion of a million burning suns, and I hope it does get removed entirely. And as I think Ben Shapiro said, that they should just tear it down and build a Trump Tower there. I'd be fine with that. So let's get into the article. It says, I saved millions of lives and realized the United Nations wasn't there for us. What is the purpose of the United Nations? From Donald Trump. And he's exactly right. That's a great question. What is the purpose of the United Nations? What do you say you do here, guys and gals? It says, President Donald Trump shamed the United Nations. It would be last Tuesday in a blistering speech, noting that he has personally brokered the end of 7 wars during his first 7 months in office with no help from the UN. Ending wars is supposed to be the UN's job. Yeah, that's kind of the entire reason it was formed. It was formed in 1945 after World War II. You may have heard of that war. It says the UN exists to maintain international peace and security. It is for solving international problems of an economic, social, cultural, or humanitarian character, and in promoting and encouraging respect for human rights and for fundamental freedoms for all without distinction as to race, sex, language, or religion, according to the UN Charter. But much like NATO, formed in 1949 to stand guard against the Soviet Union and stop the spread of communism, the UN has lost sight of its mission. As Trump said in his address to the General Assembly, the UN has funded massive migration efforts that are changing the cultures and destabilizing host countries in Europe and the US. Trump has said he ended 7 wars that were considered unendable, with countless thousands of people being killed. He listed Cambodia and Thailand, Kosovo and Serbia, the Congo and Rwanda, Armenia and Azerbaijan, Pakistan and India, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia. I didn't even know Egypt and Ethiopia was, I think, the water thing that was going on. I just want to see what the hyperlink is for. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Okay. The rest of those, I don't know. Did I know about some of them? I'm trying to think. No, I knew about all of them. Okay. Just want to say, at least it's like a cursory thing. Like I knew they were at war. Couldn't tell you why for most of them. It says, in some cases, the peace is fragile, but at least Trump has stimulated new conversations and attempted to stop the killings. And he said, no president or prime minister, and for that matter, no other country has ever done anything close to that, Trump said. And sadly, in all cases, the United Nations did not even try to help in any of them. I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing the deal. Then Trump asked the most obvious and damaging question, and I think we know exactly what that is. He says, I saved millions of lives and realized the United Nations wasn't there for us. Not during these negotiations, which were not easy. That being the case, what is the purpose of the United Nations? And again, I have no idea. It has tremendous potential, but it is not living up to the potential, Trump said. All they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war. The only thing that solves war and wars is action. As Trump reminded the UN General Assembly that he was behind the Abraham Accords meant to foster peace in the Middle East, and the U.S. got no credit for that achievement. He suggested that he should get the Nobel Peace Prize, and honestly, he probably should. He says, but for me, the real prize will be the sons and daughters who live to grow up with their mothers and fathers, because millions of people are no longer being killed in endless and inglorious wars. What I care about is not winning prizes, it's saving lives. We saved millions and millions of lives, ending the 7 wars, he said. Trump appealed to the General Assembly to help end ongoing wars. He mentioned the war between Hamas and Israel, and that some of the nations represented in that room plan to recognize a Palestinian state, which, he said, would reward Hamas for its horrible atrocities, including October 7th. Hamas has refused to release all the hostages or accept a ceasefire, Trump said, and it's because they're going to reward them with a state. That's why they're not doing it. They decided to dig in. So thanks, France, because you were the first ones that did that. Macron, you idiot. You stupid croissant, says instead of giving in to Hamas's ransom demands, those who want peace should be united with one message. Release the hostages now. Just release the hostages. Says the crowd applauded at the call to release the hostages. Okay, good. So it's not necessarily just a hive of scum and villainy. I combined hive and scum together into hum. It still is, but maybe slightly less because they did that. It says in the Russia-Ukraine war, China and India continue to purchase Russian oil, but they are not Russia's only customers. Yeah, like Europe is too. So inexcusably, even NATO countries have not cut off much Russian energy and Russian energy products. Think of it. They're funding the war against themselves. Who the hell ever heard of that one, Trump said. Yeah, seriously, you're funding the war against yourselves, you morons. It says if a deal to end the war is not struck, Trump said the U.S. is fully prepared to impose a very strong round of powerful tariffs, which would stop the bloodshed, I believe, very quickly. For those tariffs to work, he said European nations would have to adopt the same measures. I doubt they're going to do that. Says they can't be doing what they're doing. They're buying oil and gas from Russia while they're fighting Russia. And here's a Donald Trump posts. Why can't I not talk today? Post from Truth Social, and I'll let you read that. We're not going to go into it, but it's basically just, what he said. A larger version of what I just read. It says, perhaps because of private conversations while at the UN, before the day was over, Trump posted about Russia and Ukraine, calling Russia a paper tiger, which is that tweet or Truth Social above, and committing to supplying Ukraine with weapons. I don't think we need to do that either. I mean, I don't think we should be involved there, but whatever, it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, so that's what I had to say about that. I mean, do you agree with Trump about, not me, but with Trump about the United Nations and that they're just basically useless? Let me know in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.